Hi, Art.
Are we ready?
We are ready.
Yes, we're on. Thank you. It is Thursday, July 9th, 2026. It is 2:04, and we are at the Corpus Christi City Hall Chambers, 1201 Leopard Street, Corpus Christi, 78401. Clarissa, would you call roll, please?
Judge Connie Scott,
Present.
Mayor Paulette Guajardo,
Present.
Judge David Krebs,
Present.
Mayor John Green, Mayor Estella Boyce, Gabe Guetta,
Present.
Mike Walsh,
Present.
Art Granado,
Present.
Emily Martinez,
Present.
Chad Miguel, and William Oliver. Madam Chairman, we have a quorum.
Okay, I will call this meeting to order then. Do we have any public comments? No
None
one signed up.
received, and I'm just checking, I don't believe any signed up.
And no one here wishes to sign up or speak on public comments. Thank you. Moving on to item number 3, then, the approval of the TPC June 4th, 2026 regular meeting minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Moving on to item 4, discussion and possible action items. Item A, STBG-SATA, call for projects. And Karen, I believe you're going to do that. Thank you.
That's correct. Thank you very much. This item, just to clarify some language or verbiage, Surface Transportation Block Grant Set Aside project or program is a very long term to say, so you'll hear me referencing CAT 9. That's the Category 9 funding category from TxDOT that this corresponds to. This program is also previously referred to as transportation alternatives, so if somebody during conversation manages to say transportation alternatives or TA, please know that in this conversation we're referencing the same program all around. It is smaller scale projects, and we've listed the various eligible activities, but within our call for projects, both the TAC and staff is recommending focusing on just bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure projects. So excluding historic preservation, vegetation management, some of the other eligible activities, and really focusing the amount of funds available on pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure. We have in this call for projects $6.6 million. That includes the funding from 2027 through 2030, as well as some carryover funds. And if we can navigate to page 3 of attachment A, attachment 1, please. I don't know if that's something we can, thank you.
Page 3.
So that's the agenda. Please move to page 3 so it's on everybody's screen so you can see the program guide and procedures is attachment 1 of this. Please continue to page 3 of this document. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. So that lays out the funding in that both the carryover as well as the 2027 through 2030 total amounting to $6.6 million for this call for projects. At the top of this page is also the timeline that we are recommending within this call for projects. The preliminary application, would be due August 7th, and a completed full application would be scheduled to be due on September 21st, should the call for projects be executed today. We do have some buffer at the end of the year, so currently November 5th would be the final approval for projects here by the TPC. However, if we need another meeting, either at the TAC or at the TPC, we have a couple of dates included within the schedule so that this could be completed by the end of the year and projects can start getting their funding sorted and get construction underway as soon as possible, because we want to see projects in the ground. There are several entities that are eligible for this funding, including local governments, school districts, transit agencies. And so we are hoping to have a robust number of applicants for these funds. We do have a plan for doing the outreach. So once the call for projects is approved by this board, we will have a website that will go active. We have recently launched our Constant Contact, and we'll reach out to those entities individually as well that we've talked to one-on-one previously that have expressed interests, as well as doing a press release. So we hope to get the word out there to make sure that notification is made available to any entity interested in applying for these funds. We also have 2 workshops scheduled. One will be virtual, one in person, so that, again, we can help entities interested in applying for these funds make sure that their complete application is as competitive as possible for the projects that they're looking to fund. You can also see in the attachments associated with this item, in addition to the guidance document, we have a PDF that is fillable for the preliminary application and an Excel spreadsheet, again, that will be made available to applicants for the full application, as well as a draft resolution that an entity can use for its governing board to indicate support for a project, and the 20% cash match that is required for this. So it's not 100% funded, there is a 20%, and it's not in kind, but rather it has to be actual dollars and cents match, rather than staff time, et cetera. So with that, the recommendation jointly by both staff and the Technical Advisory Committee is the TPC approve the draft 2026 program guidance and procedures for the Surface Transportation Block Grant Set Aside or Transportation Alternatives Cat 9 Funding Call for Projects document, as well as the preliminary application, the full application, and also proceed with issuing the call for projects. With that, I stand by for any questions.
Thank you. Of course, can we please show Mayor Boyce in attendance as well? I know you came in. Thank you for being here. Do we have any questions or comments? Anyone? I know I see on here there's a minimum project request at $1 million. I guess there's no, any entity could ask for the maximum as well.
Correct.
Okay. I make the motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I think the mayor was first. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Karen. Appreciate that. On item 5, information items, the Corpus Christi MPO Regional Coordination Group for Federal Transportation Grants update. And Rob, you might want to do this, or I'm not sure if Gabe wants to, if he knows any information he might want to share with us.
We may do a double header for you.
Okay, perfect.
Maybe I'll start.
Okay.
So for TPC, when these federal grants were really hot and heavy a couple of years ago, before the new administration, we would bring updates to your technical advisory committee to find out about the grants that were being put out there for their call for projects, but also for local governments like the port that would apply for these federal funds, which are in the billions of dollars, and it's a national competition. So this item is back because we're starting to see more activity for call for projects, not just our Cat 9, which you just did, but all the other 23 categories of federal grant funding that are out there. And so in your packet, we show you the update that we gave to our technical advisory committee. One new addition we added that came out after the TAC meeting a couple weeks ago, bottom of the first page, 1, 2, 3rd blue text item, the Attain grant that was announced between the TAC meeting and your meeting here today. And so another opportunity, we share it with local governments. They can go on the federal website, find out how to apply and do all that application process on their own, come up with the local grant, maybe come up with the resolution, all those things that some do. So we report what's coming, but we also like to report through the TAC, but also for you all, folks like the port that apply for grants. So in this packet, we have grant submittals on page 3 of your cover memo. The port was applying for two grants. One is $80 million for an infra grant. We gave you their memo from their board meeting, so we didn't have to paraphrase. So you have that information, and also for one of their PIDP grants for digital infrastructure, that's a $10 million grant. They asked their board to apply for it, and they did. And I know Corpus Christi, same thing, you apply for grants too, it comes before council. So when we see those, we're going to bring it to the technical advisory committee, and we're going to bring it here. So you're all aware that you're not competing against each other for the same federal grant, because that typically doesn't go well, because the federal government doesn't like to pick sides in one region. So they want to know what's coming their way. And then the last part of this, which we don't have anything, federal grant results. So I will let Port of Corpus Christi make any announcements they'd like to do on grants they may have won.
Well, great news. Obviously, everyone knows about the new option agreement that was signed with DP World to continue to expand and explore a container port at the Port Authority here in Corpus Christi. As part of that dynamic of infrastructure is the inland port located just west of our community in western Nueces County, in the Robstown east of the fairgrounds there. We applied for a build grant, the better utilizing investments to leverage development grant for our inland port. And that was a 66,000 square foot of rail with 13 turning points. We were applied for a $25 million grant. We received $24.2 million, and that's great news. In our last meeting, we also approved staff to proceed with an additional grant to expand inland port through further engineering and development of that grant. So we're extremely excited. This is a big win as we continue to work with DP World and their commercialization and hopefully potential FID or financial investment decision of their container port. Thank you.
Congrats, very much exciting.
That's all we had for this information item. And so good luck to everyone who applies for these federal grants.
Yes, exciting. Item number 6, the TPC member statements. Anyone have any member statements you would like to do?
Yeah, a couple of things going on, just so you know what TxDOT's up to. We've got some major projects going on within the MPO boundary. Harbor Bridge work continues. You're going to see varying closures of ramps in different configurations as we try and complete the portion from the interchange to downtown. We're hoping to have that done within the next 6 months, so lots of work that are going to be taking place there. You'll also see, as you're coming from Portland, that we're going to have to do some work on the approach to one of the joints. It's got a bad ride, and so there's going to be some lane closures coming up that are going to have some pretty significant impacts in the next month. We're going to take 2 lanes in order to do that work, and every time we do that, things are going to back all the way up to Moore Avenue in Portland. So it's a couple of days to get that done, but we're going to publicize it well to let folks know. There's also the work going on SPID. That's our ramp reversal project, another MPO project. That one's going really well. Most of the work's taking place on the frontage roads right now, and so we're trying to minimize the impacts. But if you're going on the frontage roads in that area, you are going to notice the lane reduction and the challenge getting in and out of some of the driveways because of the barriers. The crosstown extension, State Highway 286 work that's going on out to Weber Road, through Weber Road, is going really well. It's a new contractor for us, doing a great job. Bridges and the overpasses are going in for several county roads, Judge, on that. So I think it's County Road 72 and 74, but I may have those wrong. But there are going to be overpasses for those, knowing that growth's taking place in the London area, and so we kind of planned for that with that project. And then the other one I wanted to mention is the 624 project. So if you're traveling out 624 in the 5 Points area, that road work has begun. They're extending the drainage structures now, but next up is going to be adding lanes in each direction and adding hike and bike trails in each direction, all the way out to County Road 73. So big project for us, another MPO project we're really proud to try and deliver for y'all. So that's all going on right now.
A lot going on, yes.
Who was the contractor on 286?
JE Construction. So they've done a lot of work for the city over the years. That was their very first job to get with us. They're also the contractor who got the 624 job. So they picked up 2 really good jobs with us, multi-million-dollar jobs, really big packages. JE, yes.
JE. Just curious. Any other statements, members, things going on in your community? No? Yes, a whole lot going on, but moving on, I guess, to executive session, proposed executive session. Executive session, public notice is given that the Transportation Policy Committee may elect to go into an executive session anytime during the meeting to discuss matters listed on the agenda when authorized by the provisions of the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. In the event the Transportation Policy Committee elects to go into executive session regarding an agenda item, the section or sections of the Open Meetings Act authorizing the executive session will be publicly announced by the presiding officer. In accordance with the authority of Government Code, Vernon's Texas Code, Section 551.071, 551.072, 551.073, 551.074, 551.076, 551.086, the Transportation Policy Committee will hold an executive session to consult with the attorneys, including matters related to litigation, deliberate regarding real property, prospective gifts, personnel matters, including termination, security devices, and/or economic development negotiations, and other matters that may be discussed in an executive session. Upon completion of the executive session, Transportation Policy Committee may, in an open session, take such action as appropriate on items discussed in an executive session. I know some of y'all don't read those in your meetings, but they make me read it in mine, so we just keep it the same way. Today's item, they also don't have this on there, Mary Esther, the possible action regarding the employment agreement of the Transportation Planning Director, and that would be Section 551.07, 071, yeah, or that's an attorney-client. It is 2:21, and we are going to go in the conference for executive. We will be back shortly. Thank you very much. Okay, I guess, are we on? In my office, I get a signal we're on, sorry. It is 4:27, and we are back from executive. There is no action on item number 8 at this time. Item number 9, to upcoming meetings and events. It looks like our next meeting is August the 6th. Is there any other concerns, questions? And I would accept a motion to adjourn. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion is unanimous. We are done. 4:28.